911, what is the address to your emergency?
By the 4th Street Laundromat.
What is it?
4th Street Laundromat.
What's the problem?
I've been abducted.
What's your name? How do you spell your last name? Who abducted you?
Shawn Grate.
You said John Green?
Shawn Grate.
Where's he at now?
Asleep.
Where's he sleeping at?
In the bedroom.
In what bedroom?
There's 2 houses right by the laundry street. And it's in one of those houses.
You sure it's a laundromat?
No, I'm in the bedroom with them.
What color's the house? Is it across? If I'm looking at the laundromat, which way is it?
If you're looking in the laundromat, it's going on the left of the 2.
You don't know what color the house is?
Yellow. Please hurry.
Does he have a car?
No. Well, he's just down the street.
What's your phone number you're calling me from?
I don't know.
Can you think it's a yellow house?
I think so, but it's on the left.
Is it an apartment?
No, it's a house.
Okay, does he own the house?
No, he broke into it.
Does anybody actually live there?
I think they've been abandoned.
And his name is Shawn Grate?
Yes.
Like Grate?
Yes.
Does he have a weapon?
He's got a taser.
Where do you live? What does he look like? Is he a white male or a black male?
White.
Is he like 6 foot or is he shorter than that?
He's like 6'1", 6'2".
Do you know how much he weighs?
Probably 175.
Are you injured?
A little.
What color is his hair?
Brown.
Do you know what color his eyes are? What's he wearing?
Nothing right now.
Okay, stay on the phone with me. Stay on the line with me, okay? Is he still sleeping? Where did he take you from?
My apartment. I mean, I was walking with him.
You were walking with him? Where were you walking to?
His place. I had known him for like a month and a half.
Is there any way you can get out of the building?
I don't know without waking him, and I'm scared.
Is there a bathroom in the house?
Well, his bedroom is closed, and he made it so it would make noise.
And if you told me you had to go to the bathroom, he would do something to you?
Yeah, because he had me tied up.
Are you tied up now?
Well, yeah, but I kind of freed myself.
Is he in the same room with you?
Yes.
Is it his phone you have?
Yes. Are they on the way?
No, we have officers we're sending.
Please send them up.
Okay, if you're worried, you don't have to talk. You can just set the phone down, okay? I just need to hear if the officers find you or not. Are you upstairs or are you downstairs?
We're downstairs. There's a door. There's a side door. on the right of the last house, and that's where we enter. Immediately there's a kitchen right there, and then the bedroom is right off from the kitchen.
Do you need an ambulance? Are you bleeding from anywhere?
Not anymore.
Where were you bleeding from? You don't have to talk if you don't need to, okay? Do you know where you live?
No. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I woke him up.
I just set the phone down. Are you still there? Are you still there?
How much longer?
What?
How much longer?
Do you hear any officers outside? Okay, they're in the area.
See if they can come in the side doors, though, like, softly.
Is there a padlock on the bedroom door, or is it just a regular lock?
No, I don't even know if it's locked. It doesn't have a knob, so
Can you get up and see if you can get out?
I'm afraid of waking him. If I knew the cops were right there, I would do it. I don't even know if it opens, how it opens.
Is there a window around there you can look out?
Yeah, but the floor squeaks in right by his head.
Are you laying down?
No, I'm standing right by the bedroom door.
And you can't open it?
What?
Can you open it?
I'm afraid without making noise.
Is the door to the house open?
I don't know, probably, maybe. I don't think he has a key, I'm not sure. Because I think he broke in here.
Can you see out any window that you're at?
They're all curtains shut.
What's that? What's that noise?
I don't hear anything.
If you think you can get out, you need to get out.
Unless they were right here. They would hear me catch me and he's strong.
It's on the first floor. Are you at the house closest to the laundromat or the other one? Are you the one closest to the laundromat or the other one?
We were standing in the laundromat looking at the two houses. It would be on the left.
Here, look. How does the laundromat, so if you're looking at the laundromat, it'd be the one on the right. At the laundromat. If you're looking at the laundromat, it'd be the one on the left.
Side door. Side door.
To the side door. The side door to the right.
Okay, I can hear him.
You hear him? Okay, do you think you can get out? Are you out of the bedroom?
It doesn't have a doorknob. You need to push.
The door doesn't have a doorknob? Can you see them?
No, you have to push the door a little.
He said push the door. Are they on the other side of the door?
Yeah, I think so.
She said have you guys push the door. There's no doorknob there.
Just push it slowly. Can you get out of the bedroom? And the door is doesn't have a knob.
Looking right on the mat. It's on the mat. If you're looking at the one, the mat, come in. Same thing. Can you hear anybody right now?
Heard the side door open.
She heard the side door open.
Where'd they go? Out of the bedroom.
You're out? Okay, can you get to the door where you can see out? Huh? Can you get out of the house? It's locked. Are you at the door?
Yeah.
She's at the door. You're on the door to the right-hand side of the house. She's at the door on the right side of the house. She got out of the bedroom. Is there a window there?
Yeah, I'm looking out and they tell me to come back.
She said,
Hurry.
she said to hurry up and come back.
Yeah, they can see me if they come
locked.
to it.
The door is locked. No, the bedroom door had no door here. This one, it's locked. You can't get out. Can you unlock the door at all?
Hurry up, get out of here. Where is it?
Bedroom sleeping.
Still sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay, they have her.
He went on her arms.
Unarmed?
Yeah.
All right. You need to go. Hang on. Where are you? Oh, okay. Go on in. Here's the blanket. Now, if you can't be in there, here, cover yourself up. Tell me what happened. What happened?
That was the chilling 911 call from the only surviving victim of the House of Horrors serial killer Shawn Grate. This is the call that led to Shawn Grate's arrest and likely saved countless lives. Following his arrest, police took Shawn Grate to the police station to interrogate him. What investigators found was significantly more terrifying than what they had imagined. But first, let's take you back to where it all began, Shawn's earlier life. Born in Marion, Ohio on August 8th, 1976, to Terry Grate and Teresa McFarland. He was said to have a normal childhood, but obviously, what a joke. When you compare him to potentially Dahmer or Ed Gein, maybe he had a normal childhood. But yeah, definitely was not a normal childhood. His mother, Teresa McFarland, I want to say his mother, Teresa, but that just sounds like she's a saint, and clearly she is not. So I'm going to call her Teresa McFarland just for the sake of sanity. His mother, Teresa McFarland, was actually in a very abusive relationship with a man named Edward Meadows. Teresa was married to Edward at the ripe old age of 14 years old. I am not sure who signed off on that, but they should also probably be looked at as some sort of psychopath. I don't know who in their right mind, even in 1976, would sign off on their 14-year-old child getting married. She had one child with Edward named Barbara, and they got divorced in 1972. You mean to say that wasn't a great relationship? You know, before your brain is even developed and before you even, hit puberty sometimes, you're married and have children. Yeah, I'm going to assume that marriage is doomed from the beginning. Either way, they got divorced. Shocker. Terry, Shawn's father, and Teresa met at a bar where Teresa actually worked as a dancer. I'm not sure, what people call those types of bars. I feel like here where I live, they call them a strip club. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure where you work at a bar as a dancer. I would say that's more of a strip club that serves alcohol, but that's just me. Either way, it must have been love at first sight because Teresa and Terry were married in 1974, shortly after they met, and they had 2 kids along the way. One was Jason, and the other was the youngest, Shawn. The oldest child, Barbara, from the relationship that Teresa had at the age of 14, said that the relationship she had with Terry was very off and on. They were never really steady, even though they were married and had kids together. Barbara also said that Teresa would neglect her kids, Jason and Shawn, and she would oftentimes leave them hungry for days on end. She would also go out a lot and party, and she would leave the kids behind for a day or 2 at a time, which is quite insane, and maybe where this whole story started with Shawn Grate. Shawn had a plethora of issues in school. He was held back in kindergarten and in first grade. Although it was said that the girls seemed to like Shawn, he was a couple years older than everyone that was in the same grade as him, so maybe that was attractive to some girls. I don't know. Shawn's parents divorced when he was 6 years old. When Shawn was 11, his mother Teresa, again. When Shawn was 11, his mother, Teresa McFarland, abandoned the family to go live with her new boyfriend. This left Shawn with his dad, and his father had full custody. Shawn, throughout his whole high school and middle school, was dealing with abandonment issues, shockingly, because his mother would just leave them for days on end, and she finally had enough and abandoned the family. So obviously Shawn had some abandonment issues. It was also said that he was harboring murderous fantasies about his mother. So this is really shaping up as the classic case of serial killer. According to his high school girlfriend, also known as the luckiest person to be alive, Shawn would lay on the couch for days at a time before finally getting out of his funk and doing normal activities. A court psychiatrist described Shawn as being a kind of depressed kid. What a genius. It doesn't take any brains at all to come up with that conclusion. But I would assume that this super smart psychiatrist would get Shawn the help that he needs with, I don't know, like antidepressants or seeking other types of therapy to help him. But of course, that didn't happen because our mental health systems in the US are horrendous. I mean, can you imagine if Shawn is sitting there on a couch talking to this psychiatrist saying, I really hate my mother. I don't get up from this couch for 2 or 3 days. I am having, murderous fantasies about her. And the psychiatrist goes, yeah, it seems like you're depressed. Carry on. I mean, come on, people. So moving on to Shawn's adult life. At the age of 18, this would make him a junior in high school. He was arrested for grabbing his girlfriend's throat. 8 months later, he was arrested for breaking into that same girl's house and hiding under her couch. When his now ex-girlfriend came home, he jumped out from under the couch with a butcher knife in his hand and threatened to kill her. She received several cuts and Shawn was arrested again. These instances, however, did not stop women from entering Shawn's life. He went on to have 3 children with 3 different women. His ex-wife, recalls Shawn saying, if I can't see my daughter, no one will. In 2005, Shawn was now living with his mother again. One day, a lady in her 20s came by, and she was a door-to-door salesman trying to sell magazines. Grate's mother bought a few subscriptions to some of these magazines, but the lady failed to deliver the magazines on time and as promised. So Shawn Grate took that as a personal vendetta against them. He actually was so angry about the incident that he decided to track the woman down under the pretense of wanting to buy magazines. He enticed her into his car where he drove her to an abandoned house that he was kind of squatting in. He stabbed her in the neck, killing her. After everything was said and done, Shawn then dumped her body into a field. She was found in 2007, but could never be identified until DNA evidence was able to match her to Dana Lowry in 2019. In 2010, Shawn attacked yet another girlfriend. Okay, 2010. We all have internet. Let's, go Google this person and see what his criminal record would be. I think it existed back then where it was all online. I mean, it's 2010. Why can't we see what type of trash this person is? Come on, people. But either way, being the ladies' man that he was, in 2010, Shawn yet again attacked his girlfriend. He beat her, broke her hand, and then choked her. The girl convinced Shawn to let her go to the hospital. As they were sitting in the doctor's office, Shawn decided to leave to either go do something or get something. But then the nurse came in, and his girlfriend then told the nurse that Shawn had done this to her and she was afraid for her life. So the police were called to the hospital, but by the time the police got there, Shawn had already left. So now he is on the run. Police did find him 4 days later hiding under that girl's couch in her house. I don't know what it is with Shawn and hiding under couches, but it seems to be his motto. I don't know. It's like it's going to be the Home Alone where they're the wet bandits or something like that. Maybe he'll be like the couch bandit. I don't know. Either way, he was caught. He served 6 months in prison. While in prison, he wrote several letters to his now ex-girlfriend, but addressed them to her cats. I don't know what that means. Maybe our super smart psychiatrist can figure that one out. But this guy is clearly off his rocker. By 2011, he basically became a drifter, so he was homeless. He was breaking into abandoned houses and kind of living there. He couldn't hold a steady job because he was always afraid that he was going to get caught by the police for not paying child support for his kids, which has actually happened once in the past. He works hard at doing nothing. In August, Shawn went to a church in Ashland County, Ohio, probably not seeking forgiveness for the person that he already killed because he's a psychopath. Maybe he's trying to meet women there, which is exactly what happened. He met a young lady and soon began dating this person, obviously under the disguise of being a Christian. But either way, they were married 4 months later. To nobody's surprise, soon after these two were married, Shawn lost all interest in going to church, and he began to have breakdowns where he became super angry. One night, Shawn and his new wife were wrestling around playfully, and Shawn decided to start choking her. Nothing like a playful wrestling match to get your blood pumping, and then all of a sudden you realize that your husband is taking it seriously and he's choking you. After realizing they were not in a WWE wrestling match, Shawn let her go and insisted that he was just playing around. She just kind of brushed it off and they went about their marriage. However, shortly after that incident, Shawn's wife had found out that he had been cheating on her. I do not know how Shawn is getting all these women to be attracted to him. He's essentially homeless. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't pay child support. I mean, what is the attraction to this guy? I don't understand. For the next several months, Grate's wife tries to reconcile with him. Why? Just get rid of him. He's a psychopath. I mean, I guess it's easier looking back on it to say that, and I'm not in the situation, but the dude tried to choke you, then he cheated on you, and he is always having these breakdowns where he's super angry. There's clearly something not right in his head. Get out of it. So for the next several months, she is trying to reconcile with Shawn Grate, but it just doesn't work out. She finally filed for divorce in 2012, and then shortly after that, she filed a restraining order against Shawn because he kept threatening their daughter. So again, Grate found himself homeless, and he was in the market for another abandoned house. So he did a bunch of break-ins and, found a super comfy house for himself to live in for the time being. On January 22nd, 2015, Shawn met Rebecca Lacey at a local bar. After talking for a while, Grate claimed that she stole $4 from him. Her body was found 10 miles east of the bar that they were at. Shawn would later confess to strangling her to death because she took $4 from him. What a psychopath. At this point, Shawn is starting to slowly lose control. He spends the next year and a half roaming around Mansfield, living the life of a homeless person. In June of 2016, Shawn met a woman named Candace Cunningham, and they started dating for 7 months. I don't get it. Stop dating this guy. According to Grate, she was depressed, suicidal, and had a drug addiction. One day they got into a fight, and Grate, being his gracious self, decided that he would relieve Candace of all of her pain and suffering and her suicidal thoughts by strangling her to death. And then he set the house on fire. But as he was thinking about it, he decided that he would like to move the body to a nearby wooded area so that authorities wouldn't find her. Murdering Candace Cunningham basically set off a flurry of emotion for Grate. He is now on a downward spiral. Less than 1 month after killing Candace, Elizabeth Griffith went missing from an Ohio Walmart. Grate had met her at a local Salvation Army rec center where they would regularly hang out and play board games and badminton. Elizabeth Griffith suffered from schizophrenia and had a caseworker checking in on her on the regular. After Elizabeth went missing, this caseworker was very concerned about her whereabouts. because she typically did not miss her check-ins. It was later found out that Shawn had killed Elizabeth out of compassion, similar to what he did to his previous murder victim, Candace Cunningham. Shawn said he began to choke Elizabeth after she threw a tobacco bag at his face while he was sleeping. He became upset because she didn't respect him, and then he also said that she had, these suicidal thoughts, and he just wanted to relieve her of all of her mental illness and all of her pain and suffering again. So he decided to choke her, and while he was choking her, he said that he would stop choking her if she wanted to live. She never responded, obviously, because she was being choked, so he continued to choke her until she was dead. Once she was dead, he hid her body under a pile of clothes in the closet of the abandoned house that he was staying at. In late July, Shawn met a woman named Stacy Stanley when he helped her change a flat tire. This was about a month after Shawn just killed Elizabeth. Obviously, Stacy was super grateful that Shawn was able to help her change the flat tire. So they actually exchanged numbers and began hanging out on a regular basis in July. Shawn and Stacy and one of Stacy's friends, who is now referred to as Jane Doe, who you may have heard from the 911 call, hung out and played badminton for the next several days after this tire changing incident. On September 8th, 2016, for no apparent reason, Shawn took Stacy back to the house that he was staying at, the abandoned house. I keep saying the house that he was staying at, like it's, his house or his friend's house or something like that. No, it's just abandoned. So the house that he was squatting in, that's a better word for it. Shawn took Stacy back to the house that he was squatting in. He killed Stacy, hid her body under a pile of trash in the basement. He killed her for no apparent reason, but apparently she just got on his nerves, and he's also in a downward spiral at this point, so he has no control over his mental state. He's just your typical psychopath. 2 days later, on the 10th, Grate kidnapped Stacy's friend that you heard, Jane Doe. He was able to do this by inviting her over for a Bible study into the house that he is squatting in. So now he is back on his Christian kick because he knew Stacy's friend Jane Doe was very spiritual and was a very religious person. Shawn actually used that knowledge to his advantage to basically manipulate Jane Doe. In the middle of the Bible study, Shawn grabbed the Bible out of Jane Doe's hands and told her, "You're not going anywhere." Obviously, this freaked her out, and she was just kind of trapped there with a serial killer. She couldn't get out. She was in this house with a guy that's much bigger than her and much stronger than her, and they're alone. For the next 3 days, Shawn sexually assaulted Jane Doe. He tied her to his bed and wouldn't allow her to move. On the third night of being held captive, she was able to get out of the restraints that she was in and grab Shawn's phone while he was sleeping. She called 911, and the 911 call that you heard in the beginning is what came after. In the 911 recordings, obviously, you can hear her whispering into the phone. It took police about 15 minutes to get there. All that time, she was sitting about 5 feet away from him and trying not to wake him up. After police were able to find Jane Doe and arrest Shawn, they brought him down to the police station to interrogate him. And that's where they found out his whole story. The interesting part about the whole interrogation is once Shawn was arrested, he thought the police actually went through the house and found all the other bodies. What he didn't know is since it wasn't actually his house, they needed to go get search warrants to go into that house and do a search. So during the interrogation, it's kind of weird because they're pushing him to confess to the murder of Candace, and he's already thinking, well, you just want me to say this because you already found the body and you know. So he is a little confused, and you can kind of tell in the interrogation that he doesn't really want to say because he actually thinks they already know, which the police don't. They haven't been in the house yet to find all the bodies that he hid there. But after a while, they do get him to confess to killing Stacey Stanley, Elizabeth Griffith, Candace Cunningham, Rebecca Lacey, and Dana Lowry. The whole time during this interrogation and his confessions, he always had an excuse for his actions. He would always say that it was the victim's fault, they wanted to die, they were making him upset. He never actually took responsibility for killing any of those women by himself. It was always their fault. He was doing them a service, which is sick in its own way. During Grate's murder trial, Jane Doe actually testified against him. She went into great detail about the 3 nights that she was held captive and everything that Shawn Grate did to her. During the trial, Shawn Grate actually had the audacity to say, "I would really like to stay alive." It's funny because I'm assuming that his victims thought the exact same thing, is they really just want to stay alive, Shawn. Shawn Grate was sentenced to death, and his death date is scheduled to be 2025. Real sick part about this whole thing, obviously outside of the murders and Shawn being who he is, Shawn's Mother Teresa, as we keep referencing, did an interview after the trial and said, yes, he's good looking, but the devil is good looking too. She also went on to say, he ain't no red horns and all that stuff, but you find out he's charming, and of course that charm can charm the pants off of anybody. It's almost like she's proud of what Shawn has accomplished. Yeah, he's a real charmer. He's able to charm the pants off of anybody. What a psycho. His mother should probably be in the jail cell with him, and then we can only hope that Shawn goes back and starts thinking about his murderous tendencies towards his mother and takes her out for us, because she's clearly a sick person. What a psychopath. And there you have it, everybody. That is my true crime story of Shawn Grate, the House of Horrors serial killer. If you like this video, like and subscribe and even share it if you could. If you have any cases that you would like me to research and do a video like this on, leave me a comment and I will be happy to do that. But that is all I had for you today. I hope you enjoy everything. Thanks, everybody.